Growing up, I always had just kind of an innate ability to read people and to help them read their needs and basically teach.
I'm a teacher because my life has been filled with so many great teachers. And that's not just the teachers that I had in school, it's teachers that I grew up around in my family. And I realized I wanted to have an impact on students.
When I tell people I teach middle school or 7th grade, a lot of eyebrows kind of raise like, oh, there's a lot going on in that time, but no matter what age you teach, you're going to have some sort of impact on a range of kids, and teaching them stuff that, some things are going to be more important than others, but you're building a relationship with them. You're going to have an impact with them because you're going to see them every day.
I really have evolved into thinking that it is my duty to help them in whatever way I can. Again, just be comfortable in their skin. When I was student teaching, I remember my cooperative teacher said to me, you cannot plan to move mountains every day. If you move a hill in a year, then you did a good job. And I think that's stuck with me because it's little victories. You aren't always going to see the end, and you aren't always going to know at 25 like what they ended up doing. When I get to then see them go to high school and then I hear their name, at the football games, or that they were the lead in the musical, or that they just went and, helped pick up trash on the, on the weekends or whatever. It's just, you get to see the bud of who they are, and then, when they eventually grow up and
My uncle, who taught for several years, as a matter of fact, in this school district, when he found out that I was going back to school and that I got my degree, and he pulled me aside, he said, that teaching is the only profession where you get to reach out and touch the future. And so that has been kind of my mantra. And so that's what I love about it, is that every time a child comes into my classroom or into our building and I interact with students that are mine, students that are not mine, I feel like every student that comes into this building, they're like my kids, and so, which I think everybody here feels, but just knowing that I'm getting to invest into the future is what keeps me coming and going.
Okay, so I teach science. I want all of these different things for them to learn. And then I was like, I don't actually know if I want that. I want them to feel confident in the skills that they're doing in my classroom. I want them to be able to properly communicate. I want them to problem solve. I want them to struggle. I want them to have successes and failures. And then I was like, actually, I don't even know if all of that matters. I just want them in life to make a change, whichever way that they do that in the world today. Make a change as a 7th grader, make a change as an 8th grader, make a change when you're ready, and I want to be part of that process to build them up and give them those skills to make that change. And it's crazy because it sometimes gives me goosebumps because I'm like, I have that power. Teachers have that power,
I want my students to leave our space feeling confident and important and heard. And I want them to know that they have a voice and know how to use it, to feel equipped to do that, to affect change around them.
And I guess the most rewarding thing about teaching is not necessarily taking a kid that is predominantly successful and making him more successful, but I think it's more enjoyable to find the kid who's not as successful and finding a way to make him successful and engage him in things that or her that are typically not their strong suit, but they find a niche in.
I want them to come in my room and learn, but I also want them to come in there and have fun. I want to laugh. I want them to leave happy. It's not just about math, it's also about life and preparing them for their next phase, whatever that may be, whether it's college or a trade school or something else, so that's why I want them to be successful, and I want them to be happy, and I want to do what I can to play an important role in that.
I just think teaching is so rewarding. There is so many things that go into it that, the connections you make with kids and the different backgrounds you get from kids and the different experiences that they've had, and being able to see those experiences come into the classroom and hearing things, because me, I probably didn't grow up the same as some of these kids, and just hearing those and seeing those different perspectives and what they bring to the classroom is really awesome.
I had a really great 5th and 6th grade teacher a long time ago, and she was young and right out of college, and I remember she was just so excited, and you could tell that she absolutely loved what she was doing, and so yeah, she for sure influenced me, and I thought I would be her.
I would say the best part about teaching is the relationships you build. I like I said, I have students who, I haven't had in 10 years, and I'll see them out to dinner, and they're excited to come up and tell me where they're at now, what they're doing. Sometimes they buy my dinner, and stuff like that, and that just it's kind of the long-term payout of teaching is not just helping them succeed here, but then seeing them succeed down the road and having them excited to come back and tell you, and kind of being rewarded by seeing the fruits of your labor long term.
I'm thankful for you being here at the school and helping me out and helping my friends. I'm thankful for you taking your time, talking to kids, and getting to know who we are as people. So it's these type of letters, it's these type of notes that I find the most memorable. When you have a kid who was challenging all school year, and no matter what you did, you just couldn't get through to him, or you felt as if you couldn't get through to him. And then it's like the last week of school, and the kid comes to you and like give you a hug out of nowhere or something. And I'm like, you're the same kid, like what are you doing? It's those moments that when I have a student that tells me, Mr. Mahone, I wish I would have listened to you earlier. I didn't understand why you was telling me that, but now I understand. You were trying to set me up for future success, So it's those moments when, I get the letters from kids, or my first group of students are now like sophomores in college, and when they send me an email and say, Mr. Mahone, you still the coolest teacher ever, like you're still my favorite teacher, like you saw me as a person,
So the best part is just that I think I love about this philosophy, and it's not even mine, this guy Josh Metcalf, he wrote some books, one of them, Chopwood Carry Warning, he talks about this 20/20 theory, right? And in the 20/20 theory, he says your first 20 years should be focused on nothing but how you learn, right? You need to master how you learn. Your next 20 years should be focused on learning and expertise, right? You gotta have, to create value in your life, you need to know something. And then your third 20 years should be being that expert. Whatever it is you learn, go be that, right? And then your last 20 years, you should mentor young folks in doing that thing that you became an expert in. And so I feel like education is the one entity where you really focus in on all aspects of those 20/20s, right? I'm helping young people master their learning. I'm giving them opportunities to touch a bunch of different avenues that they might want to become an expert in. So I take that seriously, right? And then I'm learning my expertise, which happens to be teaching, which is great, right? And this whole communication piece, I really enjoy that. And then finally, I'm supposed to get back. Well, I'm already sort of doing that. So man, I love education. It encompasses those 420s, and that's what I live for.